As far as Zion, for people like me who played a lot of sports growing up and then picked
brag, bro,
and then picked football, that's what I want to know. Where was what you found out about his past, the crossing over point of, man, I wanted this guy to play football, and a lot of people already picture him in an NFL uniform, even though we know that's never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, football analysts, fans, writers like us, and we watch him and we see a defensive end. We see tight end. We see Julius Peppers' body. He has almost, I think, the exact height and weight of Peppers, and he doesn't look like a basketball player. No one has looked like Zion Williamson before and played basketball at that level. I remember, I didn't put in the story, I talked to the guys at P3 who test basketball players physically, and they told me he has a football player's body. He is unprecedented in terms of his strength, force. He happens to just be incredible at basketball. The reasons why he didn't end up playing football, I mean, besides being amazing at basketball from a pretty young age, his stepdad was a basketball player, and he ended up going to high school, which is sort of the focus of my piece, that didn't even have a football team. It was so small. So through sort of circumstances, his just uncanny ability growing up, he picked his sport, and football has lost for it, in my opinion, because honestly, if he was to switch sports right now and I was an NFL GM, I would take him as high as the third round, just take a flyer on him.
And Mina, you said that there were football players at a facility he was training at from the Panthers that were just gawking at him during a workout?
Yeah, so he grew up in Spartanburg, which is where the Panthers train at Wofford College, and they would play basketball in the summers. Practicing, and his coach told me that, they'd be messing around the court and they could see the Panthers players and coaches just kind of migrating over and gawking and kind of lusting after him because he's so obviously incredibly talented. Yesterday, I think someone posted a video of him just launching like a 60-yard bomb. I mean, I absolutely think if he played at Clemson or something, he would have been, a top first-round prospect, no question.
Well, listen, someone asked Jay Billis to describe Zion Williamson, and these were the words he came up with.
Oh, my God.
And that's sort of been our mantra about talking about Zion all season long.
It has been. And to that end, Mina, a lot of people seeing him coming out of high school. I heard you and Bomani Jones have this discussion yesterday on the podcast. A lot of people saw him coming out of high school as this major talent, but a dunker. He was playing against a lot of smaller kids and hard to really gauge the competition. And then you come to Duke and we have all this debate about pay for play and value around him and the way that he sort of benefited from Duke, but Duke also benefited from him. How difficult has that been to parse the way we've used Zion as kind of a lens for all this?
It does use is the right word because it kind of feels like everyone just has their opinion about this issue and kind of puts it on Zion. Because actually his story is it's interesting, it's complicated. There's no doubt, I think, that he benefited from going to Duke, and not only in terms of raising his profile, which was already extremly high, right? This is a kid who Drake was wearing his high school jersey and posting on Instagram. So it's not like he was some unknown, but he wasn't the first round. He wasn't widely seen as the number one player in the country going into college. People thought R.J. Barrett was a better prospect than him. So he certainly, I think, built his stock playing in college. Now, all of that said, he also could have made a ton of money, and Duke made a ton of, everyone's made a ton of money off of this kid. So I think it would be wrong to say he didn't benefit from going to Duke, but he also certainly could have benefited a lot more had he had the chance to, monetize what he was doing.
Talking to Mina Kimes, wrote a great article on Zion Williamson, getting to know him both on and off the court. And the off the court part, Mina, let's talk about his poetry.
Oh, man. I was driving around Spartanburg in my rented vehicle very cautiously. And I think, I'll tell you guys this too. This is embarrassing. I had to Google how to fill up the tank.
Get out of here.
I watched a YouTube video.
Come on.
Yeah, right before I returned it, I watched a video on YouTube, and then I still had to ask someone for help. I'm really not making a good case for myself with this. But I'm driving around Spartanburg, and then I got a number for one of his old teachers, and he called me back and said, I'm not doing anything. I'm retired. Swing by. So I went through it, and, teachers, everyone speaks kindly of these kids, right? They're not going to be necessarily super critical of them, but every teacher, every coach, every teammate who's been in contact with Zion Williamson absolutely adores him. And this teacher just could not stop praising his writing, his maturity, his sensitivity. And you really see it on the court, guys. Like, the story is about who he is off the court. But I think one thing that surprised people also about Zion's time at Duke wasn't just that what he was able to do as a basketball player, how developed he was, how sophisticated his game was. But the fact that he was able to sort of sublimate his ego and play with RJ and play with these stars. And I think he really made a lot of fans, not only through his play on the court, but also the personality exhibited. So I wasn't necessarily surprised to learn all of this, but it kind of fleshed out the picture for me.
Well, it's really a great article. And I must say, now I'm really mad that you Googled how to do that, because you deprived us all the mental image I have in my head of Mina Kimes playing Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Vacation, pulling the family truckster up to the gas station and desperately searching for the gas cap and where it is. We needed that in real life. And because of Google and the internet, damn it, we didn't get it. But the article is fantastic. Mina, we appreciate the time. Just so you know, 6 to 10, Monday through Friday on ESPN Radio and ESPN television networks.
I'll listen while I'm driving. Bye, guys.
Yeah, yes, when she's driving.